Today I'm gonna give you 5 tips that helped me when I was best mixologist 3 times in the past 10 years. I think we should also do 5 shots. So I've been fortunate enough to participate in I was best mixologist 5 times in the past 12 years, 11 years, and I won 3 of them. And today I'm gonna go over some things that have helped me become a better bartender and also become better at competition mixology, at least for the state of Iowa. Never done it outside the state of Iowa. So let's get started with number 1, cohesiveness. What I mean by that is you wanna make sure that all your drinks, if it's 2, 3, 4, how many are in the competition, that there is a reason they all go together, like an overarching theme, or even just threads of the garnishes or flavor profiles have something to do, a similarity between all 3 of them. Having 3 random drinks in there, it doesn't really take the judges on a journey of yourself as a bartender and just the story of the drinks themselves. The more that they cohesively are together and have a flavor profile, or even just the stories, help a lot. One year I did food. So basically I had an appetizer, a main dish, and a dessert. That was the first year I won. The second year I wanted all the drinks to have big, bold flavors as their main flavor profile, but then the secondary and third flavors were also very unique and different. So this past year was Star Wars theme. So each drink had a Star Wars tie into it with the garnish to help tell the story of how they all 3 were cohesively created. So these shots that we're gonna do are featured on Steve the Bartender's 7 shots for 700,000 subscribers. Some of these I've done before and I like them. Some of them I haven't tried before. So let's start with M&M, Mezcal and Montenegro. Let's give this a try. Well, I already know how it tastes and it's fantastic. Equalish parts. Again, they're shots, they're fun. You don't need to measure out for these. Cheers. You obviously get a nice big smokiness, and with using the Chichicapa mezcal, it's not super smoky, but it's intense still with agave. And then because of the Montenegro on that back end, you kind of do get this kind of like candy chocolate kind of finish, which is kind of odd, but it is super satisfying. For tip number 2, flavor, and making sure you use different flavors inside your cocktails. You don't want to have 3 on the sweeter side cocktails. You don't want 3 sour cocktails. You don't want even 2 sour cocktails or 2 bitter cocktails. You want to have a different flavor profile for all 3 cocktails. It really helps show diversity in your cocktails and that you're able to push the limits of what you can do with drinks, because it's easy to make sweet drinks. It's, you know, it's maybe not always easy to make sweet drinks, but I'm just saying it shows a crutch when you use the same style of flavor on all your drinks or maybe half your drinks. So make sure you change it up. This past year, I had more of like a tropical tiki, so it would be a sweeter drink. My second one was creamy and spicy and refreshing. Then my third drink was bitter and complex. So you want to also then compound those flavors and enhance them instead of just sticking to that one flavor profile. You want a secondary and a third flavor profile to help enhance that main flavor. So flavor, don't forget it. So for shot number 3, we're gonna do B&B. Now they do make B&B already put together in a bottle, just Benedictine and brandy, but we're gonna create a shot. We're gonna use Benedictine and we're gonna use Korbel brandy. Let's give it a try. I've never tried it in shot form. I think Steve said this was one of his favorite shots out of the 7 he tried, so we'll give it a sip and see how it goes. Cheers. That Benedictine is so good. It's so complex. A lot of baking spices in there. The drink actually almost has kind of like this apple pie kind of taste to it. I can definitely get behind that one. So for the third tip that really helped me this specific year was focus. Focusing more on the cocktails themselves and creating the cocktails and understanding and making them cohesive together, and then just making sure I can pull off these techniques that I wanted to use when doing these and creating the cocktails for the judges. You know, I have a lot going on. You know, I work 40+ hours bartending. I'm married. I have the YouTube channel. We have our podcast. And so there's a lot of things going on where my time is pulled away from a lot of different things. And so I needed to focus more on these cocktails for 3 weeks. So I decided to take basically a month off of creating YouTube content. At first, I wasn't really happy with doing it, but it just needed to be done since that was the one I could easily just kind of come back to when the competition was over and put more of my focus into that. So, you know, I have to keep working. You know, I'm still gonna be married. So those are 2 things that I have to devote some time to. And the rest of my time was just basically creating these cocktails, keeping my mind and my creativity juices focused on the competition. So for the third shot, we're going to do Maserati. So we got the Ramazzotti Amaro and Mezcal. I have not had this one, and I think it sounds great. I love Ramazzotti. I love that flat cola cherry flavor. So let's give it a try. Again, equal parts. Again, we're just free pouring here because the shots are just supposed to be fun. So let's give this a try. A little bit of Amaro. Perfect. Cheers. Oh wow, that's super good. Like, it balances each other pretty well, especially with this mezcal, with the Ramazzotti. It's not too bitter. I mean, Ramazzotti is not super bitter on the Amari spectrum anyways, but it's just a nice sweet shot, you know, just sweet enough to hit that palate, and I would love to serve this to people. So for tip number 4, it's kind of almost a two-parter. It's understanding. You want to understand what the judges are looking for. Usually they're going to send you a list of all the rules, everything that you have to follow, and that's pretty straightforward. You want to understand every single line, and if you don't, email the person that's in charge of the competition. They want to make sure that you understand them so they won't have any issues. If you think it's a dumb question, just ask it anyways, just again for clarification, but also understanding what the judges are looking for in the competition. You should see a checklist or the score sheet of how they're going to break down all the scores, you know? So is it creativity, understanding, knowledge of the cocktail, you know, taste, performance. You know, there's so many different things and variables that are inside these. You want to understand what they're looking for so you know what to practice before you go to the competition. The second part of this is understanding what the judges and how they scored you, but understanding how the competition works all together. If it's your first competition, you're gonna have a lot of butterflies, a lot of nervousness because you're not sure how it works. That's how my first time in 2012 was. I wasn't really sure how it worked. I just kind of went with the flow. I did my thing. And you know, I learned so much. So then the next year I was ready for the physical part of doing the drinks in front of the judges. I was ready for that because I understood what was necessary to do better and what they were looking for. So for shot number 4, we are doing the Ferrari. Campari, one of my favorites, and Fernet Branca. Still not a huge Fernet fan. I'm getting around to it. It's good in little doses, but I do like this shot. So again, half, just kind of, I pour it out. Oops, that's a lot. Pour it back in. If you're not familiar with Fernet, it's an Amari that is very menthol forward in flavor. There's obviously other notes, but that's definitely the strong flavor profile. And there we go. Just love the name, because I mean, the color is pretty beautiful also. So cheers, Ferrari. I think I went a little too heavy on the Fernet on this one, but it balances out how much menthol with the Campari, with the bitter notes, so they kind of like cancel each other out or balance each other out, I guess, really. And it's a great shot. So if you can get your hands on both these bottles or go somewhere, you and your friends should have one. For my final 5th tip is fun. Make sure you're having fun doing all this, because I know it's a competition and you're trying to improve your skill sets, but enjoy the ride, right? Like, you're trying to create new things. It's fun doing that. You know, we're making cocktails at the end of the day, and it should be something that you're enjoying because it's pushing yourself as a bartender. Yes, are you gonna get stressed out? Are you gonna get frustrated? Are you gonna get mad, maybe upset? You're gonna have all these other feelings and emotions, but you wanna reflect and look back and say, did I have fun doing all of this? I know I'm always having fun doing it. You know, sometimes at certain moments, it gets to me and it's really hard, but it's a process that should be really just enjoyed. Even the day of the competition, yes. Is there a lot of stress going out? You know, do I have all my stuff prepped? Did I remember everything? You know, do you have someone going out running errands for you like I do all the time? Thank you, Riley. And, you know, someone that help me and support me, but it's also, you know, you're meeting other bartenders, right? Like, I meet a bunch of bartenders every year that I've never met before, and we're all we're doing the same thing. We're just creating cocktails and creating fun experiences, and it's fun to see what other people are doing, what flavors they're using, talking about drinks, talking about unique flavors, and even spirits. So it is a fun day. It does go by really fast, and you just want to make sure that you can look back and say you had fun. So for shot number 5, I don't know how much fun this is going to be, but we sent Steve a couple airplane bottles of Malort, and he found a shot called, actually there was no name, so that shot is called a shot with no name. So it's gonna be 2/3 cognac. I think he used Hennessy, but we're just gonna use what we have. So 2/3 of this, and then 1/3 of Malort. If you're not familiar with Malort, it's made in Chicago. It's kind of like a rite of passage, you know, in the world of bartending, and if you live in Chicago. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it makes it out to be. It is a little different flavor profile. It kind of has a lingering taste to it, but you know, everyone's different. So a shot with no name, cheers. Huh, it's not that bad. I wonder what it tastes like with brandy. His cognac is maybe a little too thin, but you definitely get the Malort, and you know, the cognac kind of adds a little richness to it. So maybe I need something different, but I don't mind it. So yeah. And there you have it, 5 tips that helped me when I was best mixologist 3 times. And they might help you with maybe some competitions that you have coming up. I do have one quick bonus tip. Have someone like Riley as your bar back, as your partner, or someone to help you out that kind of understands what you're doing. So when you're being a social butterfly, they can help make things.
So they can do all the work for you while you're schmoozing.
What can I say? we have what we're good at, and our strengths, and we play up to them. But no, you know I love you.
Yes.
And I really appreciate it.
Yes.
So now the whole world knows.
Aww.
What we're gonna do is, first of all, thank Steve for another shout out in his shots video, and congratulations on 700,000 subscribers.
Right.
It might take us 20 years to get to 700,000. But awesome, congratulations. And for our final shot, we are going to do Mr. Black with a cacao nib infused mezcal.
Yes.
Never done it before, and looking at our bottles, this sounds interesting.
It sounds like it's going to need a sweetener of some sort.
Mr. Black.
It's not that sweet.
It's sweet enough. I mean, I got you.
Are you watching ever so intently, buddy? You need to know how it's made. Hey.
These are big boys. All right.
I get the little boy.
And what I'm going to do, what we are going to do for our next 3 videos is we're going to make the cocktails that I won this year's competition with. So I'm excited to show them off. Cheers.
That was delicious.
That's actually really good.
It was really good.
It's really big too.
Yeah.
But awesome. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.